Today, we're going to break down one of the most devastating natural disasters in modern history, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. We're going to look at how a single event happening deep beneath the waves managed to unleash a catastrophe on a scale that's honestly hard to even imagine.
And let's just start with the number that says it all. 230,000. That's how many lives were lost across 14 different countries. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a number so large it's almost abstract, and it really sets the stage for the terrifying power we're about to explore.
So that leads us to the big question, right? How? How did one single event, hidden miles under the ocean, cause a disaster that spanned the globe? Well, that's what we're here to figure out.
To find the answer, we can't start on the coastlines that were hit so hard. No, we have to go way deeper. Miles below the surface of the Indian Ocean, to a place where the Earth's own crust is in a constant, violent battle with itself.
This is the engine room of the disaster. What you're looking at is a subduction zone. For hundreds and hundreds of years, the massive Indo-Australian plate had been slowly, relentlessly shoving itself underneath the Eurasian plate. You can think of it like a giant geological pressure cooker, just building up more and more stress over centuries.
So for all that time, these two colossal plates were basically stuck, locked together, building up an absolutely unimaginable amount of tension. And then, on December 26, 2004, they slipped. In an instant, a huge chunk of the seafloor was violently thrust upwards, displacing a truly colossal volume of water. And in that moment, the tsunami was born.
The result of that slip? A mega-thrust earthquake that registered somewhere between 9.1 and 9.3 on the magnitude scale. To put that in perspective, that makes it one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded by humans. And believe it or not, the earthquake itself, that was just the beginning.
Okay, so we've got this unbelievably powerful earthquake. But how does that jolt deep in the earth become a literal wall of water? Well, that massive displacement of the seafloor created a series of powerful waves, and the tsunami was officially unleashed across the entire Indian Ocean.
Now, this is what makes the tsunami so incredibly deceptive and so deadly. Out in the deep ocean, the wave is moving at the speed of a jet plane. We're talking 800 kilometers an hour, but it's barely a meter high. You could be on a ship, pass right over it, and have absolutely no idea what's speeding towards the shore. But the second it reaches shallower water near the coast, it starts to slow down, and all that incredible energy has nowhere to go but up. The wave suddenly grows into a monstrous wall of water, reaching over 20 meters high in some places.
So you have this silent, invisible monster hurtling towards coastlines packed with people who have no clue it's coming. Let's really get into the devastating domino effect that rippled across the region. The social impact was, well, it was apocalyptic. We already know the staggering death toll. On top of that, millions of people were left homeless. Entire communities, particularly in Indonesia's Aceh province, were just gone, wiped off the map. And the most tragic part of it all? There was no early warning system in the Indian Ocean. Nobody knew it was coming. That lack of warning is a huge reason the death toll was so incredibly high.
And then there's the economy. The hit was just as brutal. Industries like fishing and tourism, which are the absolute lifeblood for so many of these coastal regions, were crippled. All the vital infrastructure, ports, roads, hospitals, was just shattered. For a lot of these developing nations, this wasn't just about rebuilding what they lost, it was a setback that erased years, maybe even decades of progress.
And it wasn't just people and property. The environment itself took a massive, long-lasting hit. The coast's natural defenses, things like coral reefs and mangrove forests, were obliterated. Saltwater poured inland, poisoning freshwater supplies and farmland, making them totally useless. And in some places, the force was so immense that it literally redrew the coastline permanently. But you know, out of this almost unimaginable tragedy, something pretty remarkable happened. A powerful global response took shape. The world learned a very, very hard lesson that day, one that would totally change how we prepare for these kinds of disasters. The sheer, mind-boggling scale of the devastation sparked this unprecedented reaction from all over the world. It really did become one of the largest humanitarian aid efforts in all of history. The world dismobilized to help.
And you can see the most important results of that cooperation right here. Look at this timeline. December 2004, total disaster, zero warning. But then, look how fast things started moving. By June of 2006, less than 2 years later, a sophisticated, brand-new Indian Ocean tsunami warning system was officially up and running. And this is the whole point, right? This is the crucial takeaway. The world came together to fix the single deadliest failure of 2004, the complete lack of information. This new system was built for one reason, and one reason only: to detect tsunamis early and get the word out, giving people precious life-saving time to get to safety.
The 2004 tsunami was just a brutal, brutal lesson in the power of our planet and in our own vulnerability. It showed us the absolute worst that nature can do, but it also sparked the very best in our shared humanity. The real legacy of that day is the warning systems we have in place now. But a warning is only as good as our willingness to actually listen to it. The lesson was learned at a terrible, terrible cost. So the question is, are we still listening?